All right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Queen of the Throne, Divine Astrology, and I am here to bring you your prophetic messages for whatever is going on in your life at this time. Whoever needs to hear this message, please take these messages in with a pure heart, an open mind, and with honesty with yourself first. And therefore, when you hear the messages, if you're honest with yourself, then you'll understand why the message is for your zodiac sign. We're going to go ahead and get started now. Let's reveal what you need to know. Hi, Leo. Let's get started. I have turned to page 453 or 453 in the Bible, and the name of this section is God's People Vindicated. God's People Vindicated. This is chapter 25. I'm being guided. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 25. I'm being guided to read verses 7 through 9. Okay. So it says, verse 7, on this mountain he will destroy the burial shroud, the shroud over all the peoples, the sheet covering all the nations. He will destroy death forever. The Lord God will wipe away the tears from every face and remove his people's disgrace from the whole earth. For the Lord has spoken. On that day it will be said, look, this is our God. We have waited for him and he has saved us. What this means, Leo, for you is that there were a lot of people on earth doing bad things. So now when you see the removal of people, like you see people dying, and when you see people getting removed from certain positions of power, like people who were once the director of different programs, the director of this, the director of that, the senior manager of this and that, the CEO of this and that, the vice president of this and that, the president of companies and businesses and things like that. All these things that you are seeing in the news and the media, this is all acts of God. Because either you're aware of what these people did or you're not aware. But I'm going to enlighten those who are not aware. A lot of these major corporations and business people who make a lot of money from American consumers and consumers in different countries as well, they have broken a seal. They've broken a seal. What does that mean? They have broken a seal that God had already forewarned these people not to break. The rule was that you know something about a divine person, a divine being, and you don't go against it because this divine being is of heaven. Well, these people, with their schemes, their plots, and their plans, created a world where they wanted to oppress this divine being for their whole life. So this divine being, before knowing who she was, actually lived a normal life, but a life full of oppression from people who already knew who she was. So the thing that you're seeing now everywhere is a result of all of these people misusing their power, violating their power, and using power-based violence against the chosen, against the angel on earth, the earth angel, against the vindicated, the one who is actually vindicated through all of this. So Leo, if you're noticing so many things are happening with big businesses, corporations, all of these people, It's because these people are being judged by God for doing this. But here's the thing. God is wiping away the tears from every person who was hurt by what's going on in this situation. So if you yourself feel like you have been personally attacked by businesses and corporations and different people that you don't even know, like strangers, people trying to shut you down in different ways, trying to constantly oppress you in different ways. Like if you feel like some wrongdoing happened to you, if you feel like people are coming against you, trying to deny you for benefits, trying to deny you from different things, like different things that you've noticed over the last few years of your life, or for some of you your whole adult life, you may have noticed that these people work together to keep you oppressed. You may not have known it was a targeted oppression against you when you were growing up, but now that things are coming to the light, you're realizing that they targeted you to oppress you on purpose. You're supposed to have the big, beautiful home. You're supposed to have the nice, shiny, luxury cars. You're supposed to have the bank account full of millions. This is all supposed to be yours, but a lot of these people stole from you by oppressing you. They wanted to siphon off of your energy in order to make money while keeping you at a low level. But see, if they would have shared that wealth with you, if they would have filled you in, God wouldn't be taking them down right now. So you're going to see a lot of rich people die. You're going to see a lot of people lose their positions. You're going to see a lot of so-called directors and CEOs of companies and businesses. You're going to see a lot of things start happening, and it's about to heighten. I have the exact time frame, but I won't share it. You're going to see a heightened effect. This is about to heighten. You thought it was already going down across America and across the world, but you're going to see more now. It's about to start. So what's going on is these people were somehow coerced into a game or some type of illegal activity where some of you could have been the target. You could have been they thought you were a pawn or something. Like they were playing with your energy. They were siphoning your energy. They were trying to capitalize off of you at the same time while forgetting your divinity, forgetting that if you go against a divine being, what would actually happen. See, these are people that got comfortable for so many years and they thought that they could just keep going against you and that you wouldn't know about it. But see, when they found out that you knew about it, they heightened what they were doing against you. The reason why they did it is not because you knew, because they knew that it was nothing that they could do about you knowing. They thought that they could continue doing it because they didn't think you had the power. They didn't think you had the power yet, that they were trying to, basically they started to work backwards. They knew since you were little that you would eventually come into a power, like you would become aware and also you would know what to do in order to strike back at all of these people who have been using you for years. They didn't know that you had the ability to do things about it. So they heightened everything, even with you knowing what's going on, because they didn't think you could make certain things happen. But they're not understanding that somebody is a God. A real one. So Leo, you may be witnessing what's going on. You may be a witness to what's going on, Leo. You may be aware of how one person that you may know, someone that you may be around, someone that you may have heard about. And I know that you guys, a lot of you may know who I am, but just saying for the sake of the collective reading, some of you may know like who this person is. And you may be aware of a big situation involving this person. And you may even, for some of you who have envy in your heart, you could be a type of person that takes pride in joining in on this situation. You don't even realize too that whatever you do toward this divine being, you're going to suffer consequences for it. you're going to do more than just break a leg. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to do more than just, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be very harsh and devastating for you as well when you go against this person too. See, sometimes you could get lost in the sauce. And what I mean is, if you're aware of this big plan to go against one divine being, and you're joining in, is because you're not realizing that you think what they do is cool because you still see them living, breathing. You still see a lot of people, but it's because it's only happening this way is because your perception is not tuned into what you should be paying attention to. You're not tuned into how a lot of these people are falling like dominoes. See, you choose to ignore who's falling because of this. You choose to ignore who God is striking down because of this. You choose to ignore the ones getting sent directly to hell by this divine being. What you choose to focus on is all the people that are still surviving this really corrupt, insane agenda toward the divine being. That's all you want to focus on. So because you are playful and because you are a Leo, you are not even realizing who you actually are. If you knew better, you would understand that Leos are powered by God, by the sun, and you need God, right? So going against this divine being means that if you do that, you won't have God on your side. And so things will start to come into your life and happen to where like you can't even find an explanation as to why certain things are happening. It's because you're participating in the same demonic activity that all of these people are participating in, which is causing them all to go to hell. You're not realizing that these people are literally being sent straight there as a result of their actions toward a divine being. You're choosing to tune it out, but you can see the truth right in front of you. Your perception is very jaded. But how will you learn your lesson? When you're next. That's all I can say, because I've sat here and I've talked about this and I've warned you all. Like, I've warned you before all of these things started to happen. I warned you in 2020. I warned you in 2021. I warned you in 2022. I warned you in 2023. I warned you in 2024. And I have warned you in 2025. I don't have to do any more warning. You see, the problem with society is society wants to remain practical, but ever since the age of Aquarius, this society was always going to elevate and rise above practicality. Today, you may think that having a career as a nurse makes you able to survive the economy, and you may feel proud of that. It is a proud accomplishment. But let me tell you something. Spirituality is what you're actually going to need to survive spiritual warfare. Have you thought about that? See, you're going to need God. And that's the thing. Don't get too big-headed in this world where it's like you... And I'm not talking about you, Leo, unless you are someone who is too proud. But if you're not, then I'm just saying, you as in general, like talking about people who think this way. The thing is, these people who are thinking this way are going to realize how much they need God, because right now, these are the end times. So you're going to need God more than your career. You're going to need God more than your best friends who you laugh and kiki with. You're going to need more. You're going to need God more than these organizations, these secret groups that you're a part of, cackling and creating evil demonic plans and agendas like this. You're going to need more than that. And I'm sure you all know now. I'm sure you know now. See, that's the price that you pay for underestimating a God. If you knew this, why would you do this? But you did it because you thought you could test. But don't forget that gods have tests for you too. And I see you all failing them. Everybody. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter the skin color. It doesn't matter how much money they make. It doesn't matter how how they show up in the world. It doesn't matter what they wear. It doesn't matter what kind of car they drive. It doesn't matter who they are. And see, what makes people continue to go against the divine is because they're fighting with themselves. So sometimes they may want to keep the game going, keep playing around. Sometimes they may want to keep being childish. Sometimes they may want to keep testing. But what happens when you continue to do that? Look around. What happens when you continue to do that is God goes against you. God actually goes against you. So that's the thing. Your life could be on a straight path. You could be reaching successes in your life. You could be your life could be on the come up. But the minute you interact with an earth angel that God has put in your area, in your vicinity, around you, at the job or whatever it is, the minute or even if this person isn't around you, the minute that you decide to go against this person in a group effort or jump on a bandwagon that they're on, you've just signed up to be handled just like they are by God. See, God doesn't play about the prophets. God doesn't play about his children. And that's a real thing. That's not something, I know you hear people use that loosely. But that is a very true thing. It's very, very real. Like, you just really don't go against the child of God. And sometimes you may hear earth angel and you may think to yourself, wow, earth angel, okay, this person is going to be so loving and so sweet and so, like pure and so calm. No, not all the time. Angels are warriors of God. God has fighters, has an army. God has his own army of people that are going to go to war with hell. Like, angels really do fight. Archangel Michael does have a sword in his hand. Angels actually go to war and always win. They never lose. Like, we never lose. Angels never lose. So it's like this. Why would you go against angels? Why would you go against earth angels? Why would you go against the children of God? Why would you choose to go against it? Whether you're being sarcastic, whether you're being evil, whether you're being vindictive, whether you're being just downright egotistical or arrogant in any form or fashion, why are you going against children of God after seeing the proof and then after knowing it? Why would you do it? What are you trying to prove? Because all I see is a bunch of people trying and all failing. That's all I see. I don't see anyone succeeding at proving things to be wrong here. Because at the end of the day, you can't do that when it comes to God. I keep saying it's not a game. It's not a game. It's not a game. Just because your seniors and your leaders and people you look up to and people you follow, people you obey rules by, just because these are people that you have to abide by their laws and okay, God has different sets of laws and different set of universal rules to abide by. God doesn't care what that person above this whole group organization is talking about. As a matter of fact, the leader of that organization, they have an expiration that God is in control of. Like, you guys don't think about that? Do you guys really don't think about what is above these groups, what is above these organizations, what is above your family, what is above your relationship or marriage? You guys are betraying the chosen one just because of people you know, or just because of money and bribes. All it takes is for your best friend to tell you some misinformation and you run with it. All it takes, but let me tell you what you're showing. You're showing that you're already taken by Satan. That's what you're showing. That's all you're showing to a chosen one. See, no matter how you guys want to arrange this, no matter what the agendas are, no matter what the games are, all you're showing to a chosen one is that your soul is taken by Satan already. Once that has been determined, there's no bargaining on that. And see, a lot of people do it too because they feel like the archangel doesn't have authority to where like they can make the final judgment. But you have to go back to the truth of ancient Egypt, and you have to understand who actually does the judging in the first place. You have to get through certain people before you get to the final gate. If you can't even make it past the one that God put in front of you to do right by, what makes you think you're going to skip over that person and go straight to God and be like, I don't care about who this person is. I'm just coming to you, God. Can I get in? God is going to look at you and be like, well, how did you treat my daughter? How did you treat my son? These people don't live by it, but they do die by it. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. So Leo, I think the healing message here is that if you're God's people, if you're someone who consider yourself God's person, like you're a part of the family of God, you are going to be vindicated at this time. You are being vindicated like no tomorrow. Because some people are realizing that you didn't deserve for strangers to come against you. Or if you're a witness to this, you're even starting to realize that you shouldn't have had any part in going against the person who God is actually always were going to vindicate no matter what. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. This person who you may be witnessing is someone of God, and they're being vindicated at this time out of all of this mess that groups and organizations have secretly joined together to do. And the sad part is, some church groups have even done this. I just realized this too the other day. The same ones who tell you not to judge are trying to judge. See, the hypocrisy that lives within the souls of people who are not 100% pure, like they want to feel like they are, and they don't realize how as soon as they feel threatened by the actual chosen one, as soon as that threat comes in, then they start to, that demon comes out in front of the chosen one. So the things they say, the things they cackle about, the rolling of the eyes, the intensity in their bone, in their face, in their muscles, the redness of their face, it all comes out in the presence of the chosen one because they're battling something on the inside of them. Leo, you are about to be vindicated. If you have dealt with a situation similar to this where a lot of people have come against you who you do not even know, like I'm talking about businesses keep rejecting you for things. You keep getting told no for things. The people have been trying to oppress you and keep you down, keep you in poverty. If people have been trying to keep you stuck in a situation, people have been constantly trying to tell you, no, you're not getting approved for food, or you're not getting approved for a home, you're not getting approved for a car, you're not getting approved. These people are doing this to you on purpose. They're literally doing this to you on purpose Because see, they're the ones who own these businesses, and they want you to feel like you can't be the woman who or the man who you actually are. They can actually let you, but they're choosing not to. It's a difference between it's a real difference between giving someone an opportunity versus not giving someone an opportunity just because you know who they are and you're threatened by them, so that's why you're saying no, not actually based off certain factors. You guys have been intentionally held back or oppressed by companies, businesses, people. They have done this to you over and over and over because you threatened something about what they plotted on you for. Like, it's like this: if they would have never plotted on you, then you wouldn't even be experiencing things like that. And when they do these things to you, they still act like they don't see it being a wrong thing that they're doing. But see, that's how you know the devil moves through money transactions. The devil moves through things like that. So these companies, they only look at like the fact that they have more money than you, but they're the people that's oppressing you and using your energy to make the money. Like, do you understand that you being at a certain level makes them money? Because people like you, who, whether you're in poverty or whether you're just someone who they don't want to give opportunities to, they capitalize off of that. These people used to create programs to try to help the people like you at a certain income level or a certain lifestyle. They capitalized off of you because the funds that the government used to give to these organizations and companies to help people at a certain level economically, they would take most of that money for themselves. There was a lot of corruption. They would take some of that money in some kind of ways, fund it through into the actual city, or they would pay the city mayors or pay it would go into different things, and then by the time you think, okay, I just filled out my application on the same day, and they just send me a letter back 2 days later saying that I've been rejected. How? I mean, I got up early in the morning as soon as let's say for instance they open up some type of list or application at 6 a.m. You at 6 a.m. stayed up all night. You filled out your application at 6 o'clock on the dot. How come you got rejected? You were the damn near the first candidate. You know why? Do you really know why? I'm gonna ask you again. Do you really know why? 2 reasons. If they know you and they target you already, they declined you on purpose. And here's your second reason. If they don't know you and you just, you feel like you're a regular person and you're not being targeted, all right, well, here's the actual reason for those of you in the, who are just really seriously trying to find out why, and you don't feel like you were targeted, but you want to know why. Because they have to, when they get that money from the government, those funds are now available to whatever office that is. That money is just sitting there, and people have greed. They find ways to handle that money. They might give a few people approvals on those applications, but some of those people get rejected because they wanna disperse this money in certain ways and put it back eventually. So you wonder why sometimes you might get called like 3 years, 4 years down the line for something that you really want, because maybe they put the money back in the pot. You ever thought about that? You guys never thought about how like the businesses and the corporations could be using that money in different ways and trying to keep it like covered up by maybe putting it back or something, like a borrow? Think about it. Let me tell you guys, think about it. Some of these companies, they get like, what do you call it? Grants. Some of them get grants from the government, used to get grants from the government. Okay, let's say for instance, it's a school, right? And they're supposed to get a grant for like underserved students or something like that, right? To go to school. If they gave the school like $10 billion, no, let's say this, if they gave the school about $750,000 in a specific for a specific program, and there's only like 50 students in the program, not all students need the assistance, so they get like 10 applications. Why is it that all 10 students didn't get approved if there's $750,000 available? Only 10 students said they needed the money. Only like 4 or 5 students got approved. Why the other students didn't get approved? What are y'all about to do with the money? Because I know you're not going to send the money back to the government saying, hey, sorry about that, we only got 5 students who got approved for the loan, and the other 5 didn't get approved because of these factors, so we're going to send you the rest of the money back. We don't need it. We want to make sure we do the right thing. I don't think they're sending money back. They're not sending money back. And they're not saving it for the students who may need it next year, because they get a new grant every year. So it's something that's really not right. And that's just how I feel. There's something that's not right about the situation. If you have over the amount of money required to finish this program, why didn't all 10 applicants get it? Money is money, and they're trying to get their education. Why are they being rejected? Oh, but all of a sudden now, 2 months later, there's a meeting saying how a new building is about to get built on campus. Well, where did you get that money from? Is that from the leftovers from that grant? But because there's so much going on in organizations, how would you know? How would you know if that's not the money from that grant? I just don't. I know that there's a lot of corruption. So basically, Leo, all you got to know is this. What's happening right now is a lot of this stuff is coming to the light about a lot of lies and a lot of rejections that you got in the past. All of these people are coming down, and they're all being exposed. All of this stuff is happening and coming out now because they did certain things to you either on purpose, or they just was like hoarding or using corruption and stealing the money from the government. Like, a lot of stuff is going to come out now. They made your life hard so that they could keep lying and being a thief and stealing from people like you. So you're about to see now, the people that's in these positions now, that's in office now, in different offices, these are going to be the right people about to come in, and they're about to show you the world clearly what's been going on, and there's going to be more coming out. You thought you saw it already. This is only the beginning. This is not even it, but there's going to be more stuff coming out now, because guess what? They're going to find out that some of these businesses have been, you know how certain businesses might have conferences, or like where certain things get paid, like it's certain expenses that they say were included in certain things, but they use people's money to fund. You're gonna find out, like, it's certain ways that these businesses are able to keep themselves in business by lying to say that people have been paying for one thing, but really they weren't paying for the thing that the people say they were paying for. Somebody really smart and good in the financial sector was able to find a way to stream all of those extra expenses that were included in some type of thing to go toward another thing that the company wanted to create or start or fund. You're gonna find out. It's a lot going on. Okay, so yeah, you have been lied to about something, but you're gonna see all of this stuff. God is shutting all of this down. You will no longer have to deal with constantly being rejected just because these people are targeting you. That's not right. You're a human being too who deserves opportunities. All right, and that's all I have. Thank you.